Good morning, everyone, and welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser on a Friday. And as always, it's a reckless Friday, and Reckless Coffee Roasters is with us as always. And no Anan in sight, but Kazi is here. What's happening?
I'm good, brother. Yeah. It feels like the weekend where I finally have to admit defeat that the manager's going, which is very sad for me. You know what I mean? I finally admitted defeat this morning when I seen his last press conference, and I was like, oh, this is actually happening now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's going to be weird, right? I mean, in some ways, I feel like we had such a long time. It's almost like too long of a time to prepare. And I don't know if that so that took away from a lot of it, at least for me. But then, like this week, as it gets closer, it's more like, oh, yes, this is the end kind of a deal.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, brother. It feels like Anita, really. Like, the best manager in my lifetime I'll ever see, and it's definitely the best team that I'll ever see. So it's a sad
Ever?
time.
Come on now. You're a young man.
And no, I mean, no one will ever make me feel like this team did. Like the love I have for every one of them.
Well, the fact is, even if this happened, for example, in 3 years from now, you don't have that 30-year thing, right? So it's a different feeling, probably.
Yeah, it's more for the fact of I won't have the same affection that I do for like a Bobby Firmino or a Sadio Mane. And I'm sure like our parents feel like that about Kenny Dalglish and Ian Rush. Do you know what I mean? Like, and Graham Souness, who I always get told is better than Steven Gerrard, which I find absolutely insanity. But I'm sure I never seen him play that often, but I'm sure he was a top player. So it's it's a very sad moment that it's all coming to an end.
Yeah, this is more like an era that you're gonna remember. Yeah, I mean, there are certain, growing up as a little kid, I remember like a certain Fenerbahce, and that will always be the team for me, right? Like that. I mean, they won a bunch of titles since then. Like I grew up watching. And maybe that's because, like I didn't have as much access. I didn't watch as much. I mean, but like Dalglish and stuff like that, like Barnes and stuff. I loved watching those guys, but you didn't get to watch them as much to be able to even now. I mean, as much as I've been able to watch, I don't feel comfortable, for example, sitting and comparing. And whereas this team, we've kind of like watched from the get-go all the way into the final phase.
Well, you've seen players grow as well, like a Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold, of course, grow, and Joel Matip even, we will get on to, just growing to be like one of the best players in the world for a certain point at time. It's like I can never hate Michael Owen because of what he did for my childhood. Do you know what I mean? It's like because he was my childhood. Do you know what I mean? Like him in the treble season was the reason why I fell in love with football. You know what I mean? And he wins the Ballon d'Or with Liverpool. So it's just all a bit. Yeah, it's an end of an era. Again, I know I'm a young man, and I'm sure. Listen, it's like that thing with Shankly and Paisley, and Paisley was more successful than Shankly. But that fond, and Klopp's our Shankly, isn't he? Klopp is our Shankly. Basically, of course, hasn't rebuilt Liverpool from the second division to win the league title in the first division, but Liverpool were in the doldrums for many, many years, and he gave Liverpool their hope back, and that's what we need.
Yeah. By the way, yes, we should bring this up. There will be more Kazis going around. It's all over the internets.
The ones I know about, yes.
Yeah, we won't go there just in case. Ryan says, ask my wife to do something with her friends so I can watch Sunday alone. I don't need anyone to witness me during that game. The funny thing is I'll probably be driving as the game is on. I'll probably see like a lot of the stuff. I mean, really more than... No, there are ways now, Ryan. You can do it even before without it. So
yeah, there's one way to get the commiseration of Klopp leaving. The wife thought that because you're really sad, I'm going to make it up to you, and that's what
happened. And hey, look who's awake finally. What's going on?
Good morning.
Good morning. That was reckless of you to be late, but
that was very reckless. But listen, we're all on very weird schedules now because we're all sad and depressed, and so it's okay.
Yeah, that must be why.
Did you see what time they posted the Thiago news? It was like 5:40 in the morning, and
you're like you don't care about Klopp leaving. You're more like, oh man, Thiago.
No. I mean, I'm incredibly sad because of it all. But dude, they posted Thiago news at like 5 in the morning, and I started bawling my eyes out. So I don't even want to go there.
When did I say that? When did I say that?
I bawled my eyes out. So yeah, I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I won't get to watch. I mean, I kind of halfway watch the game here and there and stuff, but I won't watch the full game probably because we're going to Milwaukee for Jasmine's graduation. Literally 2 years later after her like regular college graduation. This is for masters, and it was the same thing again against Wolves at home. I watched it in the pub at the time because, well, we had something to play for, and it was earlier, I guess, because I was at the pub and then met them for lunch or whatever. But really, it's more than the game, Kazi. I mean, I don't know how much of us really care about the game at this stage. You do want to go out in a win because it's always kind of like a if it's not right, like even the past ceremonies and stuff like that. But I mean, the game is almost like a sideshow for this weekend.
Correct me, yeah. And listen, we're playing a team who you kind of want to play. Middle of the road team. Fell out of form the last 6 games. Nothing to play for. So the math is that how it works? Is it? Yeah, the math is mathing. But the game is a bit of a sideshow, really. But I mean, I always remember Alex Ferguson's last game. I'm not sure if you guys do, but it was away to West Brom and he drew 5-5. And they were 4-1 up, I think. It was just because you get those games where the shackles just come off and everyone just wants to have a bit of a laugh. And it could turn into. I expect Liverpool to win like 6-3 or 5. You know, like just a mad scoreline and everyone just goes. I don't want Liverpool to win a standard 2-0 win. I'd rather Liverpool go out and have a load of fun with it. I'd rather draw 5-5 than win 2-0. Like, genuinely. Because I'd rather just go out and have a bit of a laugh. A bit like last year with the Southampton game. When you knew we couldn't finish top 4 the week before.
Oh, yeah.
We just go out and went, well, let's have a bit of a laugh here. And we drew 4-4. Do you know what I mean? It was just that everyone had a bit of fun with it in the sunshine. So I just feel like that's what I want, kind of thing. But man, it's a bit of a sideshow. And again, I'm
like sure how you guys say, like, having a bit of laugh and having fun and stuff. I can tell you, if it's a 4-4 game, I was telling you this on the Discord after the Villa game. Nobody's having fun when they're conceding goals if you play for defense.
I know, of course. I'm not really like that. It's just like that. I'm sure the lads would be pissed off. But I think this game, at home, nothing to play for. You can't come any higher than third. You're just third, and that's how it is. I do think you can let the shackles loose. And you do see crazy scorelines on last days of seasons. Like really weird scorelines that would never happen 3 weeks before. So I do expect something a bit mad.
Yeah, and then the talk about Jota being in training and Thiago being in training. We might see unfit people in the game, like the last 5, 6, maybe 10 minutes of the game. So I don't think this game is about the score. It's about just finishing that Klopp era in a way where we don't forget it. So it could be a 5-5 or like a 4-4.
You know, it's the mad one, yeah.
Like a last minute winner or something like that would be the way to go. But I do feel like this will be a game. I mean, after seeing what he's done the last couple of games, like I would expect them to do the same thing where there's a lot of subs at the end where the game gets all disconnected and stuff like that and just goes downhill. I don't know if you guys saw this. I don't subscribe to either one, and I do not, like I watch their content, and I'll be honest with you. Which one did I watch?
Top one was 3 on.
Dude, I watched I hate this. I hate to talk shit, but with the resources given and stuff, and I know they can't show game footage, but I saw like a video. We watched it with Angie. It was like a top 10 Klopp moments or something like that. It was on YouTube. It was like a half an hour ordeal. And I really thought it was so freaking poor, dude. I was like, really? This is like so poorly done with all the resources available kind of a deal. I know they can't show game footage, so that takes a lot away when it's like a bunch of stills and stuff. But even then, I was like, what were the 10 things? You guys didn't even list them and stuff like that. But yeah, did you see the outrage against Redmond TV for not releasing the Klopp? Yeah. I did. Honestly, I did not see the outrage, Kazi, but I did see their apology.
The apology wasn't even an apology.
Yeah, they're releasing it tonight, aren't they?
Yeah.
I guess they're doing it free now. Yeah. I mean, he said it's too little, too late. You don't say, I mean, yeah, it wasn't an apology. It was more like an explanation, wasn't it?
Yeah, but like all he said was like, this is the biggest interview ever, so we put it behind a paywall. But he said it in a very, very long statement. Very long. We can't, this is how we make money. And then he wrote, also, this being our biggest interview ever. I'm like, wait, what? Did you just say nothing and a lot of something? And yeah, it's such douchebaggery of them to put it behind a paywall. Straight up.
Yeah, I mean, I understood what he was saying when he said, it's a tough decision to what to put behind the paywall and whatnot and stuff like that. But he could have written those 2 paragraphs, Kazi, and gotten done and over with. Like the one that's, hey, sorry, we misjudged it. It is sometimes challenging what to put behind the paywall, but here you guys go for free. Have a nice day.
Yeah, I wanted him to do like a John Henry apology to the camera. And once again, asking for your forgiveness.
You would think you would take the opportunity to do something like that and kind of,
just make a bit of a laugh at it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just have a laugh with it. Just do like put the glasses on and that. And once again, ask.
Yep. Set up the chair and everything. Like do the same thing. I think it would be funny and you would move on. Exactly.
Yeah. And then just kind of go from there. Yeah, mate. Listen, I watched the Anfield Wrap one. It was really good. And I quite liked the Anfield Wrap one as well because it was more talk about moments and stuff like that more than the actual refereeing decisions, and which he kind of got into, and he clearly made a point of like when we were looking at the Rodri handball and you're like, oh, you're not giving this, and he like it's clearly irks him, and I do think that's the reason. Again, one of the reasons why he's going just because of the politics of how Liverpool have been done in certain games, and I think I can't be arsed with this. And let's be right, we can't be arsed with it. So never mind him. You know what I mean? I can't be arsed with City getting away with that again and City doing this again.
I think those are more like body blows, right? Like it's not like, oh, I'm quitting now, but you can only take so many of those body blows.
But it's all collective, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like Courtois, as the game was life in the Champions League final, you're just like, oh, the other one that I lost, Mo Salah gets took off injured inside 30 minutes, and we keep fucking throws 2 in the net. Do you know what I mean? So it's they're all body blows that and again, as much as the highs of winning is fantastic, and listen, of course they have. Fuck me, they're hard to get over, They're hard to go again, you know what I mean? Like it's difficult for fans to go again. Do you never mind fucking the manager who's got to go, oh yeah, and now I've got to fucking pick these lads up. He just got 91 points and lost the league on the last day because Villa are 2-0 up, and then City, it's all snowballs, do you know what I mean? It's all a thing that you kind of have to get over. So, yeah, man, I do think it does count. As you just said there, though, body blows, and too many body blows will knock it out eventually.
The Anfield Wrap one, I'm literally saving it for today as I work in the on the side kind of a deal. They spoke, and honestly, like, thanks by the way. Liverpool goals. Speaking of Liverpool goals, last few hours for that giveaway. So if you have not done so, head on over to Instagram, check out our story in terms of what to do. Go to the post, like those people, and get your name in. I think noon our time is when they're Liverpool goals is the one who's doing the drawing, so I think it is around like noon our time. Well, my time, I should say. But here's the thing. I mean, when I listen to Klopp and stuff like that, what I really liked about him since he's been there, and it's more than obviously we all love the fact of winning and all that kind of stuff, but his kind of like some of his things on like life in general, like how he looks at things, winning, losing, family life and stuff like that. That's why I like more about the guy, probably more than the tactical stuff.
Yeah, he's a guy that shares the same values we all share, right? And this is why he fits so perfectly in the city, and this is why he fits so perfectly with the locals, and this is why all the fans love him. He fits so perfectly with the values that every Scouser has, gone through or lived through, or all of it. Being a hardworking man, being somebody who comes from a middle-class family who just is all about building yourself and succeeding and becoming the one person that everybody looks up to. And my God, man, he was such a perfect fit for this club. And it's just I can't believe we're sitting down talking about Jurgen being done with us. Like in our head, we knew this was going to happen when he made that announcement early in January, but none of us wanted to sit down through this moment. And here we are. It's like we're 48 hours away.
Dads, I was talking about this. I think it was like the Monday night podcast. I can't remember, but like when, now Kazi knows, like when the wife is pregnant and stuff, right? Especially like the first kid, there's a kid coming and stuff, but it doesn't get real somehow until a kid really pops out and you're like, holy cow, kind of. Yeah, I just get the same feeling. Like we knew it was coming for a long time, but it's hitting now as like the last game this year.
Yeah, and exactly, bro. It's like, and I do echo what Anand says, like him, how he talks about the city and how he's taken the city to his heart as well. And when he mentioned that in this press conference when he's like the people of Liverpool kind of thing and what we're about kind of thing, and we stick to our values. stick to our guns on certain things if right is right and wrong is wrong. And he kind of goes into that a bit, which is a lovely touch. It's nice. It's mad for the big fucking crazy 59-year-old German fella to start talking about your city like that and getting it spot on. So it's, I think, and I keep saying it, another manager might come in and win loads of trophies, but he's not Jurgen Klopp. And that's what, do you know what I mean? Like Bob Paisley wins loads of trophies, but he wasn't Bill Shankly to people. Because that's Shankly and that's that. And that's what he is to us. And that's how it should be, by the way. Slot can come in and again, Bob Paisley wins 3 European Cups in 5 years, which is fucking insane. And then, but he's not Bill Shankly. But again, Liverpool have, and by the way, going back to the actual playing side, Liverpool are set up to win loads of trophies. Liverpool have players there that can win trophies comfortably. Yeah. You know what I mean? We've seen that this season. They fell off a cliff towards the last 10 games, but we know we can go again and we get a few right signings in the summer. You know what I mean? A few big hitters. We can really, really push the other two to really win a league title. So, but he's never going to be Jurgen Klopp. And that's what it'll always be, because of the person, as you said, it's the person you miss the most. And that's the thing. And he actually says in it, I don't know if you've watched the press conference, that the club will never need me, but if the City do, I'll always be there.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck me, fella. I was nearly crying. It was fucking 5 a.m. in the morning watching this press conference. I'm going, fuck me, Jurgen, lad. You're killing me, fella. But, you know what I mean?
I think and it's not like, I mean, it's just real, basically. I mean, you can't, there are managers who come in and who can like fake shit. You can do that for a year or two, but not as long as, I mean, this is basically him. And it just happened to be a perfect fit. It's not like he changed to fit on or anything like that. Like his upbringing, background, the values he's got from the family and stuff just fits like a glove. It's not like you can't fake that for this long. And not to mention, you can't just make it afterwards either. It's either there or not.
I mean, look at Carlo Ancelotti. He's been coaching Madrid for quite some time. But when was the last time you heard him sitting down and talking about the city of Madrid and the locals of the city of Madrid? Yeah. You just don't. Mourinho was at Chelsea for so much success. When did he sit down and talk about the locals of the city and what they mean to him? It was all football for these people. Then comes Jurgen, where it's football, but it's also the people. And that's what gave us all that success. He talks in the interview about how he lost 6 finals in a row going into the Champions League final against Tottenham. And he says that day he was in his room just thinking about it all day, that he lost 6 finals in a row. What got him over that 6 finals losses? What is it? It's the team he's on. It's the city. It's the people. It's the support. When he's walking out to the stadium and the supporters are chanting his name and just showing him love. This is why this club is special. And this is why Jurgen was the man for this club. And, I always have that bit of fake hope, like I did last week, thinking Arsenal and City are going to lose. Maybe he comes back one day. He won't, but just give me false hope.
He won't, but I don't think it will be the same either, right?
Yeah, it's not the same anymore, but who knows? Maybe Thiago also gets a bunch of surgeries done and comes back. So you really...
Yeah, the bionic...
Yeah, it's just, man, the right man for the right club, also at the right time, by the way. I wish it was longer, but I'm also glad it wasn't longer. And it's kind of weird to say, but
yeah, the expiration date is there, I think.
It's that famous line, isn't it? You'll either die a hero or you live yourself long enough to become the villain.
Yeah.
And he's going the hero. Again, football's very fickle, and I can see Susie mentioning Rafa in the comments. Listen, mate, the last 18 months of Rafa was fucking brutal. And you know what I mean? As much as, and I agree with you, Rafa was the Messiah, and I couldn't believe he had a man. And what Rafa did in putting us basically the best team in Europe. I think we got to the 2 semi-finals, 2 finals in like 5-6 years, but in one of them. A joke. But he was very hard to love, Rafa. He was very cold-blooded. He was hard to love. And the players say that now, we play for him. They're like, he's fucking hard, you know what I mean? Like, he was no people person. Jurgen Klopp was a people person. Jurgen Klopp cared about the people. And he understood that it was a journey, and football was a journey. I always go back to certain points in games. And again, we spoke about this actually in our Patreon, mate, with the Turk, the Scouse, and the Irishman. But there's touch points in certain moments where you go, that was a big touch point. Mm-hmm. When you lose the final in Kiev, and you wake up the next day and see the video with Jurgen Klopp, who hadn't been asleep, with his mates, just saying, remember Madrid had all the fucking luck, singing that song, and we'll go back to Liverpool and being cool. And you're like, this guy is fucking insane. Like, I am in the doldrums of life. I want to jump off the San Francisco Bay Bridge head first. right, tied up with rocks around my ankles. And this guy is bouncing with his mates on the ale all night, just saying Madrid had all the fucking luck. And I was like, you're different.
We'll bring
bastard.
it back to Liverpool. Yeah.
Well, we'll bring it back to Liverpool. The next year you go on and win it. That is like insane, like predictiveness. And what a guy, man. That's that kind of stuff that you're going to miss the most. Because he picked me up. And I was like, well, if he's not fucking fuming about it, we must be a good side. We'll go again. You know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, that one, the one that got to me, and, that's why always you got to kind of look at it and look at the big picture at times, is when he takes the team. Because I remember the shit we got that game with the 2-2 game where he takes the
West Brom.
Takes the team, West Brom game, right? Like takes them to the Cup and stuff like that. And they're pretty much on paper celebrating a draw, it looks like. But it was kind of like such a big building block at the time. Now, you realize a couple of years later, at the time, I remember we got like a lot of shit for it. One thing I wanted to ask you, Kazi, because I have, like I say, I have not watched the full interview yet. It's on the kind of like on deck for today. But I did see the parts. It was like a clip from it where he's talking about, you can kind of sense his bitterness overall with the whole City ordeal. But he felt, because a lot of people have always said, well, if FSG had only backed him, he would have won so much more and stuff like that. He kind of almost went out of his way to point out that he felt backed, but within the rules. So there was only so much that can be done, kind of taking a shot at City. And you can kind of sense the bitterness, as we all would be, because this is the guy's career at the same time. He would be even a bigger legend if City wasn't around with all their violations.
Which would make it more impressive of what he's done, really, because he does say that. He says, I felt back, but we couldn't do what we want. And there's no point in me calling out the owners for the 100 million player and going, because it does do no one good. It does no one any good for him to call out the owners. So clearly, I'm not saying they were at loggerheads as such. I think they had a very respectful relationship, but he probably does have a little bit of finger. Fucking hell, help me out a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? In certain aspects. But there's also a part, though, and you're going to like this, Tim. I will also back the owners a little bit in saying, hey, you only lost the league twice by a point, Like, that's a very, very fine margin. If you want to load 100 million to get one more point,
that's fair. That's a good way to look at it, actually. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need another 100. You just got 97 points. Like, you want 110? Like, there's only 114, I think, to play for. Like, what the fuck? There's only so much you can win. There's only so many goals you can get. There's only so many goals a team can get. There's only so many points a team can win. So that's where, I suppose, in that sense, I do feel like when he probably thinks back on his career, and I'm hope he writes a book one day and goes through it. It's always the lockdown season I always go back to when he mentions it in the January, when Liverpool lose the centre halves. I think we beat Palace 7-0 just before Christmas.
Yep.
And Liverpool at top of the league by January. Or just Liverpool at top of the league Christmas Day, and we had no centre halves. And I think Joe Matip gets injured at the first weekend in January, and he goes, I've asked the owners, and they're doing no business. And then the last day of the January transfer window, after Liverpool lose a few more games, they give him Ben Davis and Ozan Kabak. Yeah. And I always go back to, like, if Liverpool would have just done a big centre half January the 1st, they'd probably win the league, because you're top of the league at Christmas. I do genuinely think that, and he does mention that as well. So I do think that's a sticking point for him. But it always again it comes down to going back to the City thing. If it does come out that it's against the rules what they've done and stuff like that, and Liverpool have had 3 seasons getting over 90 points. That's fucking insane in football, guys. I keep saying it. I think United won the treble on 77 in their treble season. I think they had 77. Yeah. We got 97 and didn't win the league. Like, that's fucking insane, eh? That's what
because FSG can ultimately say, dude, within the rules, we created a team that got this many points.
The argument is, though, and again, the argument is that he probably felt like we should have paid more for Tchouaméni at the time, maybe, and went, the players that he wanted that have moved on, and they probably went to, because let's get this right, Klopp could have went to fancy Fekir still, and they went, well, he's still got this thing on his medical, yeah, but I fancy him. Yeah, but we're not going to do it. And that's where loggerheads can come, do you know what I mean? That's where disagreement. But by the way, that probably happens across every single club. Disagreements on players with ownership.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a thing. The problem is with Liverpool, we've been so close and challenging. We've always we just need that little bit more. And I've been guilty of that sometimes. But there's only so many points you can win. There's only so many you can get before you stop counting.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, like I say, it was good for him to come out and say that, especially looking towards the future. like for the future of the club, I thought it was important that he said something like that, because I think it almost like helps the new regime in terms of knowing the owners do actually back whoever is there.
Yeah, and I think it also sends a good message to the fans that don't worry, the owners will always have the managers back. We'll see how it goes now with the way it's set up, because now I feel like Slot is going to be less of a.
Is it Slot?
It's the
Plot twist.
Plot. No, he's.
Is it
Slut or is it Slot? Or is it
It's
Sloat?
It's Slot, actually.
It's Sloat, yeah.
I just
It's
want to
Sloat.
slot that into the conversation.
It's yeah, no, thank you for slotting that into the conversation. I do believe he's gonna be just the coach. He's gonna manage the team, put the lineup out and run a training session. But I have a feeling he's not gonna be heavily involved in transfers.
No. Not a
And
chance.
that because of the way we're set up now.
Wasn't Klopp the same in the beginning?
I don't know.
He came in as just a manager, and then obviously as you're there, you kind of get more and more power.
But
More and more power.
But also, I think Jurgen imposed that character because he came in and he made it clear what he needs to make this work. Slot is coming into a team that's already built. It's kind of like when Mourinho, when Ancelotti took over after Mourinho. Mourinho did everything. Ancelotti now just carried it over. They struggled to get into the Champions League quarterfinal. Mourinho takes them to the semifinal. Boom. Then Ancelotti comes back next year. Now they're in the final. He built everything for him. And I think that's going to be the same case with Slot. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to be involved in transfers whatsoever. And that kind of makes me feel like a little iffy. Like, look, I think he's going to do great. I just don't want him to be a complete yes man.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, Ryan says I definitely want Arne. He's going with Arne, by the way. Arne to throw his 2 cents in. I mean, it's not like when they come in, like he doesn't even know. They're like, hey, by the way, we just got these 3 guys. Everything is bounced off.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like the final say is not gonna go to him. But like I say, Kazi, I did not feel like in the beginning Klopp was like, this is the kind of profile we need, but not necessarily dictate the transfers.
I think it was more Klopp going, I need a centre half and a centre mid and maybe a right winger. And that's what Slot to do. And they'll go out and go, who do you fancy out of these 2? Your opinion matters on these 2, but it's these 2 and only these 2. Let's say, okay, I fancy option A. Well, we fancy option A as well, so that's the one we're going to go for. And I think that's how it's going to be. Like, what do you think we need in the squad? We think we need 5 players. What do you think we need? Who do you fancy? Who don't you fancy? Like, I can't get a tune out of Diaz or Nunes, and I can't get a tune out of, Szoboszlai. They weren't my players. What can we do there? And I think that's what it's going to be a lot more when Michael Edwards might say, well, you're going to have to work around Nunes because no one's going to pay the money, or you're going to have to work around Diaz and you're going to have to get a tune out of Szoboszlai. And I think that's what it's more going to be like. But if it's Slot, I'm still not convinced it's Slot. So
he did sign his contract.
Did he though?
Yeah. So Fabrizio, he tweeted.
Isn't Fabrizio the guy who gets backhanders off clubs to tweet stuff?
Pretty much.
Chelsea tells him what to say.
Basically
Chelsea tell him what to say. Yeah.
Gets brown envelopes off clubs full of cash to go, can you tweet that for us?
Yeah, pretty much. So he tweeted that Slot has signed his contract and he is ready to be announced as the official manager.
Okay.
You're probably waiting till Monday.
Which makes no sense to me because I don't think Feyenoord can't win the league. No, PSV won the league a couple of weeks ago. I think Feyenoord the second, and then Klopp had nothing to play for. But only because I want Arne Slot in a room with the big 3 that are on a year left. I want him in a room right now. Like, going, what's the fucking plan here? Like, I want him in a room with Michael Edwards. What's the plan with
that room has already happened, don't you think?
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully.
Even in the interview kind of a thing.
That's why the Sunday game's so interesting, because you've seen Mo Salah like that, waving and crying to the cop. You can't know he's fucking leaving. You know what I mean? So it does make a thing of it. I know Van Dijk's kind of mentioned that he's going to stay, but I'd like to see you get signed on the dotted line then, Virg. I'm not going to lie. As much as this goes on, I've been told that Sadio Mane was going to stay and Gino and Alden will get a new contract and they all leave anyway. So
but the fact that we haven't heard anything also says, because we heard those before the last game. So does that also mean that, maybe nothing is going to change, or at least there's nothing decided for because we haven't heard it? Like they haven't.
It could be a positive. I just feel like it's a bit more. I want things to be known. I want to know what we're getting. Oh, by the way, for the manager's sake, I want him knowing, am I getting these 3 or not? Am I getting 2 out of 3? Like, I'm like, let's get it right. There's 3 of Liverpool's top 5 best players. They're in the top 3 of the box 5, up there with Alisson and Robertson probably.
Yeah.
So we have to make serious decisions in the summer. I've said this from previous chats with you guys before. Liverpool have got a lot of business to do this summer. People think this is like an easy summer. Liverpool got a fucking lot of signings and a lot of shit they got to do.
Yeah, a lot of adjustments, right? I mean, I guess my thing is, and this is what I'm guessing on is that conversation has happened. Maybe they didn't say we're going to do. I mean, Van Dijk and Trent seem a lot easier, right? It's a lot easier for them, I think, to say, hey, unless somebody comes around the corner and gives 200 for Van Dijk, he's staying. Trent is staying. No way we're selling him. Whatever the conversation is. If anything, they might have said something like, here's what we're doing with Mo, or here's the plan with Mo. If somebody comes in with Mo and gives 150, 200, we probably won't say no. But otherwise, we don't have an intention of selling him. I mean, you would think those conversations have happened where Slot is walking into, at least he knows the parameters.
Yeah, I think he knows who his base is, who his his like base stone is. He knows it's Virgil. He knows it's Trent. I think he knows Mo is staying as well. I think that conversation's already happened. Just an opinion, but I don't think Mo wants to go anywhere. That's the thing. So that's what made it easier, and that's what makes it easier for the next manager and for the fans and everything. I don't think Mo wants to go anywhere, despite this, the talk about the Saudi League and all that. I just don't think Mo has any interest of going to the Saudi League. I really, really don't think he has any interest.
I think Mo probably knows, Kazi. I mean, here's the only thing though. I mean, we'll see what the Saudi League does, but you would think they would try to continue, at least do a couple more of these off seasons, right? In terms of signing some names, maybe be the Major League Soccer of the soccer world, sign some aging guys for ridiculous amounts and stuff like that. So, but if you're Mo and if the Saudi League is going to keep doing this for a couple more years, you can always say, I got another 2 years here. I can still go over there and dominate in 2 years. He doesn't have to go now before I'm out of shape or something like that. He can go over there in 2 years and still probably dominate.
By the way, I'll take a Mo Salah out of shape over me right now. I can tell you that for nothing.
Over you?
Yeah, Mo Salah. I would
take Mo Salah in a wheelchair over you, but
I want to see what Mo Salah looks like out of shape. You know what I mean? What does that even look like? I have no idea. What, he only has a 4-pack these days. Oh, Mo, you've let yourself go. Fuck's sake. But yeah, I agree. I think Mo feels like he has a lot to prove as well. I do feel like he's very much being his bonnet and I'll prove you wrong type of character. And I feel like he's got that in him right now. There's also a party where you look at the end of the season. Let's say Liverpool win on the game. Liverpool get 82 points. You can look around the season and go, we dropped silly points where we can get to the 90 mark. That's what I keep saying with the Arsenal thing. If Arsenal don't end up winning the league, which doesn't look likely, but if they don't end up winning the league, the max they can finish on is 89. It's not enough to win a league in the Premier League with Man City. We know this.
Yeah.
It's not enough to get you there anymore. City will get over 90. We know this. We've been here before. Arsenal, this is your first ring around that you've been in the last day. I want them, by the way, to get the full experience of Man City. I want West Ham to take a 2-0
holding behind and shit.
I want West Ham to take a 2-0 lead. I want Mikel Antonio to take on an absolute pearl of a back post header to give them some false hope, and then City score 3 in 15 minutes and break me heart. But yeah, so I do feel like that's a point with Mo. I do feel like that they can look around the season and go, West Ham away when you're leading, Villa, of course, but Villa's a tough one because it's towards the end anyway. The Spurs game early on in the season, which everyone forgets with the Diaz, you know what I mean? The Diaz situation. Curtis Jones should never have been sent off in that game. Even the Chelsea away actually looks like a good point now on the first day, but Liverpool dominate the first hour of the game and Liverpool should win the game. So there's certain moments in the season where you go, fucking hell, we could have got 90 points. Comfortably. If we just held on to leads and stopped conceding early goals, Liverpool get 90 points. So, yeah, I do feel like I think Liverpool will be closer next year, and I do feel like if we keep the other three, we'll definitely be closer. The biggest one I'm worried about is Trent, to be honest.
So let me ask you this. So back in the Champions League, I'll go play in Saudi. I know which one Salah is picking, says Daz. And my thing is, how much does it go to Salah in terms of him saying, well, let me see what you guys do first? So that he knows it's one thing to go to the Champions League and knowing Yeah, I mean, we're still going to be adjusting. They're not going to bring anybody. How much does Mo say? Well, what are your guys' plans, so that I know what to pick and not just go to the. I mean, go to the Champions League with a shot at winning is different than just showing up in the group stages. I don't think
Yeah.
Mo takes a lot of pride out of that at this stage in their careers. These guys have won it now, so if it's win it or bust in terms of like what it brings.
I don't think Mo is going to think like that at all.
Really?
I think Mo is committed to the club, and I think he knows that this club is no longer just trying to participate in the Champions League or just be a team in the league. They want to win trophies. And with all the changes that are occurring, when it comes to the operations side of it or hopefully the management side of it, this isn't a club that's like, okay, let's go see what can happen. This is a team that wants to go out there and win. Jurgen built a base for this club, and this is a winning base. And now you go out there and you finish the job. So I don't think he thinks that way. I don't think that's a concern at all. I think it's just a matter of who are you going to bring in to support me and support the rest of the players in this club.
But that's what I'm saying. If he sees Van Dijk walking out the door, is more like, well, I guess I should pack up too because we're not going to go very far.
So that could have a domino effect. But I don't see Verge leaving. I don't see Trent going. I don't see Mo going. The only weird one right now is Diaz, even though the talk is Diaz isn't for sale. I just think his agent is trying to do the South American player thing where he's going to talk a million times about how he's always wanted to play for Barcelona till Barcelona actually notice. But Barcelona are struggling to pay their bills right now, so I am not too worried about that.
What do you think, Kazi? Do you think like Mo kind of takes a look at what's on the table before he sits down to eat?
I mean, a little bit, but the one thing I'd always say is that Liverpool in the Champions League are a different breed. Liverpool do go deep in the Champions League, and Liverpool do get far. And every time we're in it, we always have a chance because of Anfield. We've been to the final 3 times. We were 2-0 up against Real Madrid, lost 5-2 that game.
Yeah.
2-0 up, and then we absolutely destroy Atletico Madrid, and then they just score a mad goal in extra time because Adrian's in goal. And it's so there's all little moments where you go, "Oh, we could have beat Atletico," and then you could get further. And so we've always got a chance to win it when you're in it. That's what Liverpool provide. I've seen Jamie Carragher mention that on the overlap. He said every time Liverpool are in it, you always go, "They'll beat them," even though the other team's got a better side. They'll beat them. Like we could do with Dortmund, for example, and get to the final, like comfortably. Like, but by the way, we're a better team than Dortmund, I believe. I just feel like that's where you can go, and it probably is one of the last chances in terms of Mo. Depending if he's not going to sign a contract, then it's definitely his last chance to win it. And I think we can go deep. I do think we can go deep. And again, I have full faith in this side next year. I don't know why. I just have full faith. I don't care who the manager is. I think the teams will learn loads out of this season. Learn loads. And we also have now young players where they've learned loads and played games like a Conor Bradley and stuff like that. And if James McConnell, Bobby Clark, Jadon Dans have all played their parts in this season. So I'm excited, man. I really am. As much as I'm gutted about this season finishing and the manager leaving, I think Liverpool can really kick on next year.
Honestly, that's why I think it's important to have like Van Dijk and stuff still there. While I mean, like you say, the young guys you mentioned are good to have and like give you squad performances, but I feel like you need a couple of those guys who will be in the squad and have a bit more of a sense of urgency and not think, hey, we're just building block. Like this is my probably last shot. A guy like Robertson and Van Dijk and stuff, if they keep playing, they're gonna play like this is probably my last shot of the Champions League and stuff like that.
There's a part where those kids, though, that I've just named, can get you 80 million. Like a Ryan Brewster and like a Nico Williams. People don't like to hear that, by the way.
Yes, people don't, but yeah, that's why
they can earn you loads of dough. They can earn you loads of dough. Like, for example, Liverpool could sell Conor Bradley for 20 million now. Like,
easy, right?
Easy. That's what I'm saying, based on his performances. Like we did with Nico Williams when he got to a certain level. Because that's what the fucking academy's for. Unless you're super, super special, like a Trent or a Curtis Jones, then that's what we're for. You're there to make money. You're there to pay for the costs of the academy that we have to fucking do every year. So you save us 100 million when a Trent comes along, and you save us a 70 million when a Curtis Jones comes along. So that's what it's there for. But I agree with you, mate. We do need players in the 24-25 range ready to win right now.
Yeah.
I
think so too. Yeah.
I agree.
Let me ask you guys this. I don't want to go too much into it because we have all freaking summer to kind of go into it. But VAR obviously is a huge topic right now. He mentioned it as well. Real quick, VAR or no VAR? To VAR or not to VAR, Anan?
That is
Yes.
the question.
Yes,
That is the
VAR, not, but so there's a but to it. VAR isn't the problem, it's the way it's used, just like Jurgen said, but it's not even the way it's used in England, it's who uses it. The referee standard in England needs to go up because this is what's making VAR so bad in the Premier League, in England in general. It's how they use it. So I don't know if they need to go on a training course down in Germany or do something.
But either way, I mean, so like as things are, even as things are, VAR or no VAR.
Yes, VAR.
Yes, VAR. I don't trust these refs at all, as much as the absolute plant pots.
I understand how people say, the refereeing is bad, like Anand was saying, but then kind of say no to VAR. You're just bending over and waiting.
It's like, oh, so it's bad and you're letting them run it on their
Yeah.
own? Yeah.
I mean, I don't, know what I mean, Kazi? You're saying they suck. These guys don't know what they're doing. I let them just do their thing. Not even a double check.
You need an independent panel to look after. You need like someone who's not associated to the referees. Someone not like Mike Riley when he says, well, I didn't send over a certain referee to the monitor because he was my mate and he was having a bad day. You can't have things like that happening in VAR. It's either a sending off or it's not. It's either, you know what I mean? It's either off. I think the automated offside is going to help a lot next year, which is coming in, that they're using the Champions League. I don't know about you guys and they're using in Europe, but I feel like an offside decision's made within 3 seconds. They know if he's off or not, which is going to be excellent.
How the Turkish league has it, but not Premier League. But
yeah,
the same thing with VAR. They waited forever on that too.
The referees voted against it last year, probably because they can get one more year of match fixing in before it actually comes in.
One more year of betting, yeah.
You know, so, but I did just see Sergio's comments about the Feyenoord, and Feyenoord have just posted a video saying that the Arne Slot era is coming to an end. And then a nice little video there of Slot winning all these trophies. So I don't know where he's going. Might be going, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? No, I mean, the thing with VAR is I don't like how it's used and everything either, but I don't understand this concept of, oh, it's not working very well, so get rid of it instead of improve it. One thing the Turkish league has done, and I think it's changed a lot of things actually, is they're getting the VAR from Portugal and Germany. So it's actually Portuguese and German referees doing the VAR for Turkish referees sucking on the pitch. You can still suck on the pitch and affect games, by the way. Turkish referees have proven this. Because you can, I mean, these guys are so freaking good at it. Because you can call fouls, you can give yellows, nothing that goes to the VAR, but you can control the pace of the game and how the game flows with your shitty decisions. But I think having somebody totally objective and out of the picture running VAR, it does kind of help, because even this guy is not saying it's a penalty kind of a deal. So it does kind of help. I wish they did that. I heard a lot of like voting, and I don't think people understand the group thing unless they're in totally different rooms and they don't know how they're voting for the Eurovision contest or some shit like that. You know, if 2 people in the room are saying penalty, the third guy is going to be like, yeah, what you guys just said. So I don't understand the 2 out of the 3 ordeal.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me either. Like, I love. By the way, they have like a little VAR geek because the referees can't work it properly, and like he has a decision. What the fuck is going on? Like, I just so it's all a bit mad. The other thing that they could do as well is that if Premier League's the best league in the world, can we just stop having British referees because they have to be English and stuff like that? Forget all that. Go and get the best referees from around the world, pay them enough money, and fucking bring them here. Because we play in Europe and we have some really good referees and really good flowing games, and we watch a lot of European football as well. And the referees are a level above the British refs. So go out there and get them.
I mean, what league?
Soccer, I know Gally has brought this up before. I don't watch enough Major League Soccer to know how they use it and what they do it and stuff.
Don't get me started, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Yeah, we're gonna
get me started.
Conversation and compare. I don't want to get into right now.
They've got rules that I've never heard of. Even Messi was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, oh, you were down. Now you got to stay outside for 3 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So if a player goes down for treatment and they go out and wait to come in, there's a certain amount of time. They're like in a penalty box for like 4 minutes or 3 minutes. They can't come in until they're told to go in. Messi looks at the bench last week and in Spanish, he goes, "This is why we're never gonna move forward in this country." And then he's like waiting. And then now players, when they get hurt, they don't want they want to get up right away, even if they're hurt, because they don't want to miss 3 minutes or 4 minutes.
It works. Like I said, there's like an American saying, like, it works like a charm.
Like, it's so many weird. I'm not. Don't even get me going.
Yeah, I haven't watched enough of it to know, but I know Gally always talks about, how VAR is a lot better, and I literally like don't watch almost any of it really. I mean, I used to. Now that it went to Apple, sometimes it would be like on TV on ESPN or something like that, and it was soccer. It would be on in the evening. I would watch it because it's soccer. But now that's not even happening, so I pretty much don't watch it at all, to be honest with you. Messi or no Messi, I really couldn't care less. I mean, like I say, we're gonna have the whole summer to talk about that, but I figured I would bring it up. And here's another thing, what I worry about is if they get rid of VAR, which I don't think they are, like just because there's a vote doesn't mean everybody's gonna vote for it. The problem is all next year, instead of talking about the referees and how shitty they are, we're going to talk about should we bring VAR back, or if VAR was there and stuff like that. So the conversation is going to shift from their shittiness onto something else.
It's one of those things where regardless of how the vote goes, it's going to see that's why we did it.
Yeah.
The VAR stays. See why we wanted to get rid of it. And if it goes, those cheaters, that's why they voted to get rid of it because of this. And it's honestly, it puts a heavier burden on the referee to make the wrong call when everybody sees the video versus when they just do their own thing. And I know they use it wrong and I know they make mistakes, but would you rather them just make the call without us even looking at it, or kind of us to get an opportunity to see where we're at and then potentially the call gets overturned or whatever that is? In the Wolves letter was one of the reasons to get rid of VAR is delayed goal celebrations. Dude, I am not worried about goal celebrations.
Yeah, even Stitch is used to it by now. I mean, anybody can get used to it.
Exactly.
Anybody can get used to it.
It's not that serious. Use it better, I agree, but get rid of it, absolutely not.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost like the explanation doesn't make sense. I mean, you got to have, if you have a guy who's doing a shitty job in a factory line, you don't just get rid of the quality control and just have him keep doing what he's doing. If anything, you're like, hey, we gotta have better quality control to make up for this guy's thing. I mean, just fix the issue instead of like getting rid of the issue, or get rid of the guy in the line. Hey, he's back. What are you talking to? You gotta. I saw you get a phone call, probably like Arnie calling you. He's like, I'm coming over. Yeah, got the confirmation.
He tried to get Thiago a new deal, but
Okay, so as we head out, I don't even know if we care, but do you think, Kazi, we kind of tried out the same 11 that we did? Maybe Robertson comes back, but it's pretty much the same 11 that we've been going with. This is our starting 11. Or does Klopp do like a retro thing where, like bringing out the old boys and just like gives Gomez a start? And, there's all kinds of things where I'm bringing my boys on or something.
I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of just getting the old boys back for a bit of a laugh. I'm a big fan of Milner just coming back for the quick day and playing for the Reds. And I'd love to see Gini Wijnaldum back in a Liverpool shirt and Sadio Mane. I don't really care what the team is, to be honest. I have zero interest in this game. It's just a football match. I have to sit there for 90 minutes before I start crying.
Yeah.
So, again, whatever. I'd like to see just Mo Salah score 2 just to get 20 goals, but that's about it, really. And then we can all go from there.
Yeah, I mean, that's 18, the only thing, right? Like,
he's on 18 and we say he's had a shit season. He's been crap. It's amazing, isn't it? I love football so much. But, I mean, again, it's just a football game that we have to go through until we get to the party kind of thing.
This is just a scrimmage that's on TV, honestly.
Can we talk? I don't know if you guys have, because I missed it. Can we talk about Joel Matip for a minute? Because I love Joel Matip.
And Thiago.
We should have brought on I should have worn the Joel Matip shirt we made back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, Joel Matip is up there now with the Milner and the Gary McAllister as our greatest free transfer. For 8 years, there was a time in the 18-19 season when Gomez gets injured and he comes in and he rivals Van Dijk as being one of the best defenders in the world. He was an absolute unbelievable footballer and doesn't get the credit he deserves because he's playing alongside.
I think that's why, right? Because everybody said I can play centre back next to Van Dijk at the time. But
no, you can't. Yeah. Not when Liverpool stand on the halfway line ready to defend. No, you can't.
Yeah.
So, what a footballer. Sorely missed footballer. His personality, his charisma, hilarious. But even this season, he came back. He forced his way back into the team, and he was absolutely tremendous before his ACL injury. Really cost Liverpool this season, I think. Wonderful footballer, and he's going to be sorely missed. And I'm going to say it because Gary McAllister is always my favourite Liverpool player. he probably is Liverpool's greatest ever free transfer.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. That it might have cost us a season. It sounds odd to say that, but one, defensively, because we've conceded a lot of goals. But more importantly, Anand, I really liked how he helped us break down defenses with the threat of, like being able to push up with the ball and stuff like that. I feel like it's a bit easier to sit back from Konate and Kwanzaa and stuff like that and just let them do their thing. You see Kwanzaa doing it a bit more now, like Matip runs. But I think those runs were huge in some games where we just could not break down the defense.
Yeah, it as awkward as funny as it looked, that was a joy to watch. Prime Matip just running with the ball, getting through everyone. Yeah, he's a player that doesn't get enough credit, and he'll be missed. And I hope he gets a proper send off Sunday, and I hope the fans show him the appreciation, because he's a special guy, and I will agree, probably our greatest free transfer. He gave us the most return on our investment, which was exactly 0. Yeah. So that is huge. And I am thankful to say I watched him play for my club, and I will never forget him refusing to go to the African Cup of Nations to represent Cameroon, because how important our season was at that time. And players don't just do that. And he got dropped out of the Cameroon squad permanently because of his commitment to staying at Liverpool and not go, because of how crucial the time season was in January that year. And they don't make him like that anymore. So I'm very thankful for Matip, and I'm very sad his season ended early this year, but he's going to get a proper send off on Sunday.
I almost feel a little bit bad, because this should be like a Matip farewell day, right?
Yeah.
It's going to get over, regardless of who. If even Mo was leaving for sure, it would be overshadowed by Klopp leaving. That's the only thing I feel bad Matip for. He's gonna.
Isn't that the best thing ever, though? City are about to win the league again for the 5th time or 6th time out of 7, and everybody's just talking about Jurgen. Nobody gives a shit.
No one cares. I know.
You're like, the season goes to the end. It's City and Arsenal going forward, and everybody's like, so what time is the Liverpool game, and what are the fans doing for Klopp? This is what everybody cares about. Every single big name journalist in England is going to be at Anfield. Nobody gives a single fuck about City. Nobody gives a single shit about Arsenal. And dude, I'll take that. I will gladly take that, because fuck those other two. It
shows you the power of Liverpool, doesn't it? And I remember when Joel scored that goal against Leeds, when he finally danced the way through and then passed it to Salah, and Salah played it back, and he
the give and go.
He chiefed the keeper, we win 6-0, don't we? And it's just moments like that. I remember he scored a last minute winner against Ajax in a Champions League group game when the ball was just over the line.
Yeah.
Remember that? It's the last minute winner. We won 2-1, top end winner. We didn't know if the ball was over the line. He's had big moments. I remember his first goal against Palace away off a corner in the big bright green kit. You forget he's been here for 8 years.
He has the assist for the Champions League goal to Origi, the second one.
Yeah, assist for Origi, I suppose. Yeah, great touch and bringing, So it's just, again, sorely missed, and what a footballer. And again, another one that Liverpool needs to replace. And I know Kwanzaa stepped up this season, but Liverpool have big decisions to make at centre half.
I think the best thing about Matip this season was Kwanzaa's statement. It's too bad he's injured. I want to play football. I can't believe he said that. I still can't believe he said that. And I think my favorite Matip moment was when Liverpool scored. I don't remember who it was against, but it was a Champions League game. And we scored a goal, and he was on the sideline. He just goes in and starts slapping everyone. I don't remember who that was against, but Hendo just picked up, and he's like, what the fuck was that?
Napoli away.
He just kissed in, and he just starts smacking him. I was like, whoa, this is a character you just don't duplicate.
I think it's not only the play, the personality is what we're gonna miss that. Just the way he walked, he ran, he celebrated, how he talks. You watch these videos, you can tell he's a hilarious dude to be around.
One of the best Twitter pages is No Context. I'm just gonna put that out there. This is how special this man is.
Brilliant. Should we do a little obituary for Thiago?
Go ahead.
Not on Friday. Anand will just break down.
Unfortunately, I'll start this, and then you can have a little cry. One of the most gifted footballers I've ever seen with a Liverpool shirt. A phenomenal footballer, a joke of a footballer. Could do things with the football that I've never seen another player do.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Especially play for Liverpool. And a dream of a footballer. Klopp mentioned it today in his press conference. I wish I could be in a parallel universe with seeing him without injuries.
Yeah.
And because if let's get it right, if he wasn't injured, Liverpool do win a lot more trophies, and Liverpool will give him a new deal. So phenomenal footballer, and his best performance was we beat United 4-0 at home, and actually I think he plays in the 7-0 game, but we beat them 4-0 at home, where Mane does a little chip to Salah for a goal.
Oh yeah,
first time reverse pass. He took the piss, and I think Gary Neville says that after the commentary on the Gary Neville podcast with Carragher, and he goes, he was laughing at them in the middle of the park. We watched him laughing at him, and he's took the piss out of Man United, and that's what he said about him. And when the Man United legend says he was laughing at us in the middle of the park, like you couldn't get near him on his day. One of the best I've ever seen, and I'm just thankful he came. And I keep saying in that season when we're going for all four. When it got to the dog days of end of March, start of April, he was the only one who wanted to win all four. I felt like he was the one who really carried Liverpool in certain games. He was excellent in the Champions League final. I think Jürgen made it by bringing him off. I think he brings him off for Keita, which less said about that, the better. But you know what I mean? But what a footballer. And I'm blessed to see him in Liverpool.
I think honestly, I agree. Like in terms of skill level, is probably like one of the best we've ever had. I mean, the stuff he can do, the way he ping passes, we rave about Trent on like different styles of passes he does. I mean, this dude was that ×2. Like sometimes the way he hits the ball and how the ball like curls mid-air so it doesn't lose pace and gets there and straight. And honestly, Anan, we give you a lot of shits. I mean, obviously, nobody can deny his injury history and like he has not shown up. Somebody was saying like the raccoon got more like playing time this year than in that game than he did. But the thing is, if he was not, I think everybody would talk more about how unlucky we are that Thiago did not play. If he did not come at a time where he was just a cherry on top. Like if he comes in like 3 years before that, where he's like a major piece, we'd be like, man, like we'd be constantly talking about it. He was almost like unfairly maybe an afterthought because he was kind of like the cherry on top for that team.
Yeah, I think one of the best midfielders we've ever signed. And I think one of the best technical and most complete players that have ever put on the shirt. It's just quite unfortunate with his injury history and with everything that kept just going downhill. And I do want to take, like, our club and our medical staff takes some blame for his injuries because prior to coming, he had injuries before, but not as many as he did when he played for us. But also, it's the high intensity football. It's the way we play,
and he's aging.
And he's older. And players like him that play that very simple yet perfect football. They're not about intensity. It's kind of like if you guys remember watching Iniesta or Xavi, they weren't about running and chasing and getting the ball. It was just what they did when they had the ball is what counts. So when players like that have to play with this high intensity, it takes a toll on their body because it's so new to them. They're like, holy shit, now I got to do all this. To me, probably one of the best players to ever play for the club when it comes to talent and skill and technicality. It's just unfortunate his injury history, but we got out of him a good amount of his talent to give us the trophies that we won. When we were going for the quadruple, he was a big key. And honestly, it was just a pleasure to watch him play for Liverpool because I watched him when he was at Bayern. I watched him when he was at Barcelona. And I've always dreamt of a player like that in my club. And then when we signed him, I was on a plane coming back from Mexico. And I'm connected to the Wi-Fi, and the talk is Thiago, and then he signs, and I swear to God, I was on the plane, I was like screaming, and they're like, "Oh, the Arabs are at it again." I'm like, "No! I'm just happy we signed Thiago. It has nothing to do with anything." But like that was one of the greatest days for me. And
thank God you're making these jokes. I guess.
I'm glad he said that on us. But, no, man. Listen, I think I do think Anand's right as well about the injuries. The timing was horrific because he signs the season that everyone gets into the centre half and then he has to play the 6 on his own. And let's get it right. The idea was Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago for a lot. That would have been that, and then some fit centre halves would have been lovely for him. But it was needs must, and unfortunately, it kind of took his toll in the end for him. But he was signed as the cherry on the cake. But he also was signed without all the centre halves getting injured at the same time.
Yeah,
just kind of ruined him a little bit. So, but what a football!
Trying so hard.
It's gonna be an off Sunday, man. Like I'm almost glad I'm not watching it live, I guess, because it'll be easier to watch it in the evening when everybody's in bed or something. Okay, just out of tradition for shits and giggles, let's do a prediction out of the way. Kazi, are you sticking with your 5-5?
4-4.
4-4. Okay. Way to modify that. What do you have there, Anan?
3-2.
I've nearly got the last couple of games right. I said
Yeah,
5. I said 5-3 against Spurs.
Yeah.
The Villa game. I
I
said
think I almost nailed one of them, but I don't know if anybody's going 4-3 says wrong.
I said 4-4 against Villa. That was 3-3. I've been close, guys. This is what happens towards the end of the season. You get some mad ass results, don't you? So,
I'm going with the 4-2 on
Okay.
this one.
yeah. Give Adrian a game. He's leaving as well, isn't he?
Huh?
Give Adrian a game.
They haven't posted the Adrian going away post. They did it for Matip and Thiago, which tells
That's
me
a good point, actually.
which tells me one of two things. One, he stays, gets a 1-year extension, whatever, or two, he joins the goalkeeping coaching staff.
Or option 3, he signs up to replace Mighty Red, and he's in the costume.
Oh,
I mean, left.
I don't know,
2-in-1.
So,
and an emergency goalkeeper. At
why
the same
why it's tough to do the Mighty Red job for him, because in a lot of the home games, the kids are throwing balls at Mighty Red, and he has to catch them, and it's
poor guy gets a lot of shit. Somebody who won trophies for us.
Mate, Mighty Red can do keep-ups with those shoes on. I've seen him do it. It's an absolute insane. What a footballer. Whoever's in there, he's a fucking talent.
So you just confirmed Adrian can't be Mighty Red. Okay.
Listen, if Adrian is leaving, right? If Adrian is leaving, the Super Cup he was fantastic in, called on last minute to win the Super Cup for us. People forget as well, the season we win the league, he plays about 9 games at the start. Yep. Alisson gets and he makes a mistake against Southampton away, passes it to Danny Ings, I think. I can't remember. But he passed the ball to someone, Liverpool to win the game 2-1. But he plays really well in those 9-10 games, which helps Liverpool win the league. And I think he's actually really good in the Charity Shield when we win it. I think he starts that game at the King Power at Leicester, didn't he? And we win 3-1. And he's really good in that as well. So he's had his moments for a player who's been in the middle of the road player at West Ham and stuff like that. Yeah. And he's come in and he's...
I don't understand the hate he gets. I really don't.
It's because he's crap.
It's
because he's crap.
I mean, he has not played. He is crap overall. Like, you don't rate him high as a goalkeeper. I'm not going to feel confident.
I'll still sign him on a year deal. I'll still give him an extra year if it was me.
Yeah, but his play has been like nothing for us to hate on. Like, you can say his past or overall, but say for a third goalkeeper who acts like, I mean, you ask any player, he's the big brother in that locker room. Why the hell not?
His love and appreciation and respect for the club are appreciated.
Yeah, of course.
It's just he's without trying to take the piss, he's not good enough to be at a club like Liverpool. Doesn't mean we hate him and all that.
At his age, though, bro, he's been a brilliant little bit of a business.
Yeah.
Say that. I know the Villa game. I forgot about that. And I always go back to the Atletico Madrid game at home as well when he's poor. But again, for free transfer for a fair choice keeper, Liverpool, by the way, need keepers like that because it gets you over the line in the. That's why Scott Carson keeps getting signed at City because he gets over the line.
You need a guy like that. I mean, not only for your bench, for your locker room and stuff like that, continuity and somebody to go to.
Before City won the Champions League, Scott Carson was the only player in that squad who had won the Champions League. So before City won it, so there's and by the way, Carson plays against Juventus at home, and we win 2-1. Carson plays in that game, so he does have his moments as well. So
was that the one where Luis Garcia scored the? Yep, when he. Oh man, one of my favorite goals. Yeah.
Hippier and
before you guys really go down the memory lane further, we'll be back Sunday for the pre-match. I think a lot of contributors will be there on that Sunday in the pre and post. I'm sure there'll be a lot of talk about the boys, the people that are leaving and the people that are coming in and stuff like that. I'll be back Monday with the Polish Prince in the morning. Hopefully I'll have recovered from watching the videos Sunday nights. But enjoy the game on Sunday. We'll see you guys then. Enjoy the Saturday and the weekend. Until then, everybody, do not forget to like, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. And if you haven't done so already, you got a couple of hours. Get your butt to Instagram and make sure you throw your name in there because that thing is worth $1,000. So you don't want to miss out on that giveaway. But we'll see you guys Sunday. Until then, have a great day, everybody. Take care.